Discussions. Creating and grading discussions. This video will cover creating a discussion, setting up a group discussion, and grading a discussion. To create a discussion, I'll first go to my discussions link in my course navigation on the left side here. Once in my discussions area of my course, to create a new discussion, I'll click on this blue button in the top right for plus discussion. So now I'm in my new discussion settings. So I'll give the discussion a title. This will be Foreign Policy Introduction. And then in the body here, this will be where I include the prompt. So I've got my prompt, questions for students to answer. And then as I scroll down, I've got the rest of my settings for my discussion. So you can post it to specific sections. In my case, I'm going to post it to all my sections in my course. If I want to add a file, I can do that here. Choose File, and it'll let me use my file browser and add a file from my computer. And then my other options here, I can allow threaded replies so that the replies, if a student replies to another student, it gets threaded under that other student's initial reply. A popular option here, users must post before seeing replies. This prevents a student from seeing posts that have already been made by students until they themselves post to the discussion first. So if you want students to post first before they can see the rest of the discussion, you can use this option here. The next one, enable a podcast feed. This is not commonly used, but if you're using audio or video in your discussions and you want to enable a podcast feed for students to listen to those audio or video feeds, you can use this feature as well in your discussion. And then for graded, if you want this to be a graded discussion and it'll be fed into the gradebook, you can check that. And the allow liking, this allows for students and you to give a thumbs up to a reply or to a post that a student has made in the discussion. So with that below, I also have the option for a group discussion. So in this case, hypothetically, I'm teaching a course that has multiple sections, and if I want my discussion to be based on sections, I can use the group discussion and set it to sections. So I'll check this box, and then I'll select my sections group set. And so this is going to create a different discussion for each of my sections. I'll make this worth 10 points. And I'll move this to the discussions assignment group. And then I'll set a due date. I can also set an available from and until date. So this would be when students can begin adding to the discussion, and then the until date is the cutoff date that students can no longer participate in the discussion. But in this case, I'm just going to use a due date. And with that, I'll click Save and Display. Save and Publish, sorry. And so now I've got my newly created discussion. I can see these are the different sections I have in my course. So I can click on either one of these and I'll be shown just the discussion for that section. So next we'll look at a already created discussion. If I go back to my discussions area, I'll go to this week 3 discussion. And this has been set up to also be a section discussion. So when I open it, I'm notified this is a group discussion. Each group has its own conversation for this topic. Here are the ones you have access to. And then I can click on this TA's section, and then I'll be shown the various student responses for this section in the discussion. And I can go back, look at the other section discussion and see those responses. And for grading, when I want to grade these, I can click the three dots here, and then I can click on SpeedGrader, and this will bring me into the SpeedGrader interface. And when I look at these discussions in the SpeedGrader interface, so right here I'm looking at Anne, and I'm going to see all of Anne's discussion posts in the discussion. So here we see one, here we see another, and here we see a third. And in the top right here, I can click on Anne, and then I can use this show all sections, and I can pick which section I want to grade. So if I'm Jane and I just want to grade my section, I can click that, and then I'll only see the students that are in that section. Similar, if I'm Taylor and I want to see just my students, I can toggle that. And then yeah, using the SpeedGrader interface, I can add feedback comments, post a grade, file, video, audio feedback, and then submit and continue grading. So that's a quick rundown of setting up a discussion using the group function. This was again showing how to use the section groups, which are automatically created in your Canvas course if you have multiple sections in your course. And you can also, if you set up your own groups and you want to set those for a group discussion, you just select that group set. In the description of this video, you'll also find documentation on using discussions, as well as documentation on using groups and group sets. Again, if you have any questions about using discussions or anything else in Canvas, feel free to reach out at help@collaborate.ucsb.edu.